Have you heard about the Lyft driver in Chicago who encountered vampires?
This New Year's Eve, I was driving Lyft and I picked up an order, and it ended up being at like a place that used to be a church, but it wasn't a church anymore. Obviously, if you saw the festivities that was going on, there were like people with cloaks and like dark hair and heavy eyeliner, and there was like a red glow from the building coming out. Four guys got into my car. As soon as they got into the car, I felt a chill. And yes, it was winter, but it was a different kind of chill. I turned around and looked at them, and I immediately knew they were vampires. And it wasn't even just like a thought, it was more so a knowing. Before they got into the car, I was thinking like maybe they were devil worshippers, because I had seen like a goat head and like the typical symbols that you see with associated with that. But I was like, no, these are vampires.
So, in terms of how they looked, they were apparently very, very pale. Pale in a way where the poster says there was no like warmth to their skin. It didn't look like a normal kind of pale. And there were two brunettes, two blondes, and they had incredibly light, piercing blue eyes. And she's not even sure why, but at this point, she starts to panic.
Immediately, I start to panic. My heart is racing. I'm feeling like, is it too late to reject the call? Like, can I even ask them to leave the vehicle? And then I started thinking, okay, if I am panicking and my blood pressure is rising, then I'm like pushing more blood through my veins, which may mean that I may seem more appetizing to them. This is all stuff that's going through my mind. The man behind me, the blind, who was like in the middle, touches my shoulder, and immediately it's like somebody poured warm honey over me. Like, that is the calm just spreading down my body. It was like immediately I felt relaxed. Almost like I was in a trance, kind of there, but like watching myself. I can't even really describe it. And I knew at that moment that I wasn't necessarily in danger.
That is so eerie. Like, suddenly she feels this overwhelming peace and calm come over her. But then one of them says that they need to ask her a question.
So he's like, okay, well, we have two separate cars. How would you group us together? Who should ride with who? So I'm like, I look back at them, and they're smiling and they're kind of giggling. Now, their teeth don't look like regular teeth, but they don't look like the typical vampire teeth either. But they definitely did not look like human teeth. Their canines were a little bit more pronounced, but not in a dramatic, fake way. I can't even freaking describe it. And actually, if I had to describe them, to sketch them out right now, I couldn't even, because it's like they're a memory, but not like a typical memory, like a memory behind a memory. I knew it. I'm like, you're vampires. Yes. I heard the answer in my head. No, I'm looking at them through because I'm like, if they lunge for the jugular, I'm gonna crash us all. But I grouped the opposite hair colors together. And the guy said, well, why'd you do that? I said, I don't know, it just felt right. He said, excellent choice. He took out his phone and he's like, I'm gonna start my car now. And I'm like, you can start your car from my car? And he's like, yeah, but we like you. You'll get home safe. Good. Like, you'll get home safe tonight. They got out and they gave me my biggest tip of the night. You would think that would have been my last ride for the night, but no, I kept going. I made it home, and I didn't tell any other person about this story because, like, are you supposed to share vampire stories? I don't know. However, I just did. So just know that there are other beings in this world besides us.
Now, so many people would obviously say that she just had a car full of goths. She just had a car full of alternative people going out on New Year's Eve. But there's so many strange elements to her story, like the guy touching her and suddenly she's just totally at peace. Also, her overwhelming panic out of nowhere. I'm sorry, but if you're driving like for a rideshare app on a regular basis, I feel like you probably don't get super spooked by like, I don't know, just a normal set of passengers getting into your car. I truly think something a little funky was going on there. And this story was going so viral. People saying like, have you heard about the Lyft driver in Chicago who encountered vampires? And then immediately sharing their own vampire story. It's been really, really, really fascinating being on vampire TikTok. But anyways, I had to share this story. It's terrifying. I'm really curious what you guys think about that one.